Welcome in, guys. It is Brad with College SportsCast. We are here after a wild and crazy holiday weekend in the entire landscape of college football and Kentucky. This is our next episode of Wildcat Weekly.
Thank you for tuning in to College SportsCast. College SportsCast presents Wildcat Weekly.
Welcome in, guys. It is Brad with College SportsCast. Got John Hammonds on here with me tonight. What's up, Hammonds?
What's up, man?
So, first of all, let me get started with this. Did you have a good holiday weekend?
I did. I had a good Thanksgiving. Ate really well, so had a good time.
All right. So there has been a ton of stuff to get to, but before we do, I do want to bring up our Facebook. I always talk about join us on Facebook, hit that subscribe button. It's only 99 cents a month. It gives you your own chat and your own subscribers page, and we would appreciate that from you guys. It helps us continue to do these for you. So I want to start with that. And if you are on YouTube, we appreciate you as well, man. Like and subscribe on YouTube or on Facebook. We appreciate you guys. And then one more thing before we get started here. I think the Black Friday deal actually ran through today, Cyber Monday. So you can still get 30% off of any Kentucky gear at Home Field Apparel. I'm going to keep that up on the screen. There's a QR code at the top left of the screen. You can get some really cool vintage Kentucky gear for 30% off. Use our code CSCAST or use that QR code and Home Field 30 to get 30% off at Home Field Apparel. I'm going to leave that up on the screen as we talk tonight. John, I want to get started. And I know there's a lot to get to, okay? But I actually want to get started on Saturday at a very ugly ending to the Stoops era at Louisville on Saturday. That's where I want to start this. I got the football field in the background of Kentucky. And the performance Saturday was about as abysmal as you possibly could have, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, the bottom, honestly, just fell out of the Stoops era, to be quite honest with you. There was no way you could run that back.
No, I mean, I feel like, to me, this was the worst loss in the Stoops era. Now, Kentucky wasn't necessarily expected to win this game. You had Louisville as a slight favorite. You had, I think, Kentucky at the beginning of the game. It actually flipped for them to be the favorites, but it didn't happen. They couldn't score. They lost out in shutout fashion, 41-0.
I mean, honestly, John, the last couple of weeks, even at Vandy before this game, the effort just wasn't there. They didn't even act like they wanted to win. Did you think? Because I don't think there was no effort, really. I mean, I don't believe.
The effort wasn't there. I will agree. It was hard to watch.
I'm going to be 100% honest with you guys. Halftime on Saturday, I went outside and started doing some decorations and doing some things. I shut the crap off. I'm just being honest with you.
Here's what really bothered me, Brad. You had four of their top scholarship running backs out, okay? You basically had a running back, Braxton Jennings, a walk-on, that played at Ashland. In his last game, I can't remember if Matt Jones said it was 61, 71 yards against Corbin. He ran for more yardage against Kentucky than he did against Corbin. High school.
And what's really crazy is the night before, me and you was on the phone, and I told you the night before, you said, well, it looks like they're going to have a walk-on as a running back tomorrow. And I told you on the phone, I said, watch him have 120 yards tomorrow.
I mean, and then you had Boykins, a wide receiver. He had, career high 101 yards. Man, I don't really know, honestly, Brad, to really even talk about this game. Like, it was just so bad, so frustrating. Here's the thing that most fans, like, you can grasp the picture of it, but you have to really know why he didn't come back. And I want to break that down a little bit. Now, he played Vanderbilt the week before. They was 2-5. They had just lost to Tennessee. They win 3 straight, okay? They beat Auburn. They beat Florida. They beat Tennessee Tech. They're 5-5 going to Vanderbilt, okay? You lose the Vanderbilt game 45-24, okay? Well, to me, that's not a big deal. You was supposed to lose to Diego Pavia. You was supposed to lose.
I mean, they did beat Tennessee 45-24 over the weekend as well.
Yeah. Then you get to the Louisville game, okay? This is how I feel now. I don't know how you feel or how anybody else feels. I feel like if this was a 28-24 type game and we lost, we're talking about a whole different situation. Stoops probably comes back.
I mean, I'm not sure even in a close loss. That I'm not real sure of, John, to be honest with you. If he wins, I think he gets to come back.
Yeah, because you're going to a bowl game. You're getting an opportunity
to play a bowl game. Yeah, I do. But that performance, I knew at halftime on Saturday, it was all over. The fat lady, I heard the fat lady singing the entire first half of that game. I knew it was over. There was no way that you could run that back and bring this back for another season. It was completely over. But, John, I do want to get to one other thing before we move on to, what's happening now. The extended buyout. I want you to talk like it's a big deal that Stoops was willing to, in his contract, he was owed nearly $38 million within a 60-day period, and he is willing to extend that buyout yearly, monthly, something like that, yearly, I believe, where he will get paid over an extended amount of time instead of within 60 days.
Yeah, Mitch Barnhart probably came up to him, tried to negotiate a buyout. It was 37.6 million buyout within 60 days of firing. Now, Stoops, he agreed to a change in the payment schedule. And, you look at the game Saturday, he made a case after the game that he wouldn't leave on his own, okay? He made that point clear in the press conference that if you're going to leave me, I'm going to get my money. If you're going to kick me, I'm going to get my money. Basically.
Yeah, that was his point Saturday after the press conference. I mean, after the game in the press conference. Yeah, for sure.
And what I really like about this is the way Stoops handled it. He could have went in there, that office, and said, give me my $37 million right now, and I don't want it in months. I want it now in 60 days. But he didn't. Now I feel like you can welcome him back in open arms in a year or two. Bring him back to Lexington, give him an opportunity to, let the fans celebrate him the right way. Instead of the way the basketball program went a couple years ago.
Last April. Yeah.
And
so I mean, I agree with that. Listen, Stoops being able to do what he did and say, yes, let's get our lawyers involved and let's try to work this out and we can extend this out. And I mean, that's a great deal. I mean, at least it shows that he cares about this program. He's been here a long time and that he cares about this program.
And you look today, Brad, I've looked around on X pretty much all day. Former players, coaches coming out in support of Stoops. Then you had the little incident with Jeff Badette talking about Vince Marrow today. Something, I don't know, a bunch of drama that was going on with that podcast. I don't know really what happened there. I didn't really read a lot into it. I just know that apparently something Vince Marrow said to Jeff Badette, the former wide receiver, that caused him to transfer. He called Vince Marrow out on a podcast today. I don't know really a lot about what really was said.
I know nothing about it, so I'm not going to talk about it because I
don't know anything about it. I just know there was a little clip that was said, but I don't know anything beyond that. But you had former players come out in support of Stoops, AJ Rose. You had Childress that played a couple years ago. You had Jacob Tammy wrote a big nice long letter or post. I feel like his was really good. There was just a lot of support and happiness for what he brought to this program. And I'm going to say this, that I know the fans are mad at him. You know, I didn't always agree with everything Stoops did, okay?
Well,
but at the end of the day, he's a person. He's a human.
Yeah.
And he's got family. He's got kids.
At the end of this, John, we're going to talk a little bit more about Stoops at the very end before we go on from football. But I do want to get to some stuff that's going on today, now, that's going on now. So there are reports, there's media people that are saying that it's a done deal, that it's Will Stein. It's not official, by the way. But there are reports, media people saying that it's a done deal with Will Stein. Now, I will say this. Weeks ago, after the Texas and Tennessee losses, when things looked pretty bleak, when they were 2-5, I come back from covering. I was at the Tennessee game. I come back from covering the game, and I told John I had heard a rumor that Will Stein would be interested. So I have known this for a little while. We haven't really, on the show at least once, I did mention his name. But John, there is another candidate that had scheduled an interview. I don't know if they're still going to be doing this or not. It doesn't look like it. But I do want to talk about Brian Hartline for just a minute. And I've got him as the Jimmy's and Joe's candidate. There's been 3 names. I'm just going to talk about 2. John, I think you can get why I would have him listed as the Jimmy's and Joe's. He's been at Ohio State. He's got names like Marvin Harrison Jr., Jeremiah Smith. He's been known for getting some of the best wide receivers at Ohio State. Now, John, it's at Ohio State. Could he do that at Kentucky?
That's a good question, Brad. Recruiting at Kentucky?
He's only at Ohio State. That's it. So he's had that logo and that brand to recruit and get these guys with.
Well, me and you had this little conversation a week ago. You was talking about recruiting within Kentucky, and you made a kind of a joke, but it's kind of true. Kentucky is completely different than Ohio State. Ohio State has a brand. Ohio State has a tradition of football. And based on name alone, that's why a lot of those kids go to Ohio State.
They get people, and it doesn't matter who's going after them. They want to play for Ohio State.
They do. With Kentucky, I think the recruiting would be up the notch. But I think you're going to see that with Will Stein too. His offense is exciting, very exciting. He
It
throws,
is. And that's why I have him listed as. So I've got two on here. I got Brian Hartline listed as the Jimmys and Joes candidate, and I've got Will Stein listed as the X's and O's candidate.
Yeah.
I did that out of playfulness. Okay. I got him listed as my X's and O's candidate. And all reports are stating that he's going to be the guy. He's from Louisville, Kentucky. He played at Louisville.
2008 to 2012. Yeah.
He started coaching in Louisville. He has also been at Texas as a quality control, offensive quality control. He has been at
Lake Travis High School.
Lake Travis High School, where he coached Garrett Wilson. By the way, that's a powerhouse program. By the way, yeah. And then he went to UTSA as the passing game coordinator, offensive coordinator, wide receivers, or QB coach. And then the last 3 years, John, he has been at Oregon under Dan Lanning. Mm-hmm. And just to throw some numbers at you, they're 36-4.
Yeah. And here's the thing:
36-4. I just want to say that.
His first game as an offensive coordinator, they averaged 43.7 points per game. Let that sink in. Let that sink in for a second.
What's up, Josh?
They scored 81 points against Portland State. In 2024, they were the number 1 seed in the playoff before they lost to Ohio State. Oregon's offense has averaged 37.7 points per game over the past 3 seasons. Second in FBS behind North Texas.
Yep. And they've been in the top 10 in passing in yards all 3 seasons that he's been at Oregon.
You know what I love about him, though, Brad? His ability to adapt to a different quarterback. You know, he had Bo Nix.
He's had Bo Nix. He's had Dylan Gabriel. And this year he had Dante Moore.
Yep.
All different kinds of quarterbacks. And he's done nothing but improved their game and got them to the NFL, to be honest. I mean, Bo Nix was ready for the NFL. Dylan Gabriel has started and ready for the NFL, to be honest with you.
Oh,
and Dante Moore might follow suit.
Here's the thing that I really like about Will Stein. His ability to adapt to the game plan. You know, you saw it this year with Indiana. Like, there was a couple games where they played in the rain. He changed up the game plan. He changed up the game. And that is what Kentucky needs. It's a phenomenal get for the Cats. He's a good recruiter. He's probably one of the best offensive minds in college football.
He's 39. He's 39 years old, I believe. No, I take that back. He's 36 years old.
36, yeah.
He's 36 years old. Hartline is 39. I got them mixed up. But Will Stein is 36 years old. And I just want the Cat fans to know this. His dad played at Kentucky. His name was Matt Stein, and he played for Jerry Claiborne in the 80s.
He did.
His mother is also a Kentucky graduate.
Yep.
And he grew up going to Commonwealth Stadium as a Kentucky fan.
You want to know what's exciting about this, though? You look around the landscape of college football. The elite coordinators that have been on the coaching cycle. You had Kirby Smart. You had Ryan Day, Dan Lanning, Marcus Freeman, and now you got Will Stein. Those are 5 top-notch elite play callers.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's young. He's going to light up the scoreboard, Brad. And that's why I love Will Stein as the quarterback. The quarterback position.
Guys, the quarterback, he's also been the quarterback coach as well as the offensive coordinator. And he has developed quality quarterbacks everywhere he's been, including that high school stop in Texas.
You want to know what's funny? Is Will Stein and Jeff Braun both played quarterback at Trinity, okay? Both went on to play quarterback at the University of Louisville, and now they're back in the Bluegrass against each other. Wow.
Yep.
It's pretty insane. Like, that's pretty insane.
I just want people to know that there's the Stein's background. They are from Louisville, but they grew up with his dad being an ex-Kentucky player, his mother a Kentucky graduate, and grew up coming to Commonwealth Stadium as a Kentucky fan. That is part of when I heard back a few weeks ago, 5-6 weeks ago, when I heard his name, that is part of what I heard. I heard that he would be interested in coming back home. That's what I had
Here's
heard.
the thing that is impressive. I was reading something today. Oregon's had some injuries, okay? They've had a couple wide receivers down, some O-line injuries. He adjusted the offense to score points. Very controlled. You know, that's what he does. He uses weapons that he's got to score. It's a heavy run one game. It's pass the next. There's balance. And there's creativity. There's no worrying that you're going to run the ball up the middle 2 or 3 times or have a halfback draw or a bubble screen. He's a developmental of talent. Look, Brad, he developed Bo Nix. He's got Dante Moore.
Bo Nix at Auburn. Bo Nix at Auburn, everybody thought he was done.
Yeah, and it's a West Coast offense with NFL-based top plays. And it's to fit their style of play. And I'm going to tell you something. I read something a minute ago. It was a Rivals thing or something. It said that there's going to be quite a bit of players from Texas and some Oregon players that might follow him to Lexington. And if that's the case, being a quarterback whisperer, it's untelling what he could do if a quarterback in Lexington.
And Cutter Bowley, if that's you standing here listening to this and wondering about Will Stein, I don't know if you want to compete in a good room, because that's probably what you're going to have to do. But if you want to develop, Will Stein's the kind of guy that can get you there.
Yeah, he can. He knows the game. He's smart. He develops talent. He you just don't do what he's done and not have success. You know, he was at Louisville for a while. He went to Texas. He was at the Powerhouse program in Texas at high school, I think, for 2 years. Then he went on to Oregon, where he's dominated offensively.
He went to UTSA. He was at UTSA for 3 years.
I'm going to throw a name out for you while we're on here. Look for there's a coordinator at UTSA. I don't know really a lot about him, but Justin Burke, he's the OC at UTSA. Don't be shocked if you see his name pop up for the OC job.
Well, but he was at UTSA before he went to Oregon in 23. He's been there 3
one that might pop up, and it's North Texas's OC, Davis.
Yeah,
he's like Will Steins when it comes to creativity, play calling. Listen, I know Kentucky fans have the last couple of years, they've been kind of tired of the whole stall ball. Well, you ain't going to get stall ball with Will Stein. I can just tell you. This is going to be scoreboard time, Hal Mummy type stuff. A lot of outside plays, the quarterback rolling out. Like, it's going to be exciting brand of football that Kentucky fans are going to enjoy.
So with that said, John, I've got a few things here that I want to kind of quickly go over just the future of the program, the tempo, the style, the kind of players that we can look forward to. And then quickly at the end of this, December high school recruiting is happening pretty soon, and then the January portal, and just kind of hit and run through each topic here real quick.
Future, I think you're going to see a lot of players out of Texas. You're going to see some skilled players, wide receivers. You might not see a lot of running backs. Now, you might see, Dante Dowdell probably come back. I think Dan Lanning coached him at Oregon. So that's Dan Lanning. I keep saying Dan Lanning. He's the head coach. Will Stein, he might as well be, because he helped him build that offensive line, but offensive coordinator job. But you're going to see some Texas players. You're going to see, might see some running backs. You're going to see a lot of skill position players. Offensive line, wide receivers, tight ends. He uses the tight ends so good. Willie Rodriguez, if you're listening, you better have some fun, because he's going to get the ball to you, because that's what he loves to do.
What's up, Brady?
That's one thing Brad has been harping on for the last 2 or 3 years, is the use of the tight ends. Like, we have not used the tight ends.
And we've got some good ones. Boyer, Willie Rodriguez, we've got some good ones to use.
Well, and then you're going to see the tip pistol RPO game that uses play action. There's a lot of RPO options, a wide receiver screen, slants, cross, routes. Wide receiver runs deep and medium crossing route. It's so hard to explain unless you just got to watch it on. Go watch some of the film from the last 2 or 3 years.
And the tempo, guys, they rarely huddle at all.
He wants the matchups he has. Fresh legs, make the defense speed up his play calls. He'll go empty backfield. He'll spread it out, throw the ball around. Dillingham was the same. He was under. Was he under Dan Lanning at one point?
Who's that?
Arizona State head coach. He was wasn't he with Dan Lanning at one point?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Dillingham. Yeah.
It'll be fun to watch the breakdown of this offense as a whole. It's a pro style run, RPO game. There's going to be a lot of freedom at quarterback. And you saw that with Bo Nix.
Now, before we move on to the December high school recruiting, real quick, he's not been a head coach. And there are going to be some questions. Can he handle the defense? Can he handle a big operation? Can he handle NIL for everybody? There's going to be some questions. What do you expect to see defensively out of a guy who's not been a head coach?
I think first year is going to be tough. You look at the schedule next year. It's tough, Brad. It's tough jumping into a year like he's going to jump into. But I think you put fans in the hope category, that there's energetic. It's an energized, Kroger Field. You got a new coach, but don't expect a lot of things in the first year. It's going to be.
Well, that's my next topic. Honestly, I want to ask you specifically, John. What do you expect? Because the December high school recruiting is like in a few days.
Well,
what do you expect in the high school recruiting that's going to go on?
I saw on X today there was a few guys that had pledged to stay. Now, the Hunter kid, I think, is it DJ Hunter?
Yeah.
The quarterback, he made an eye emoji, which and tagged Coach Stein. I felt like that's a sign that he's possibly going to stay. There's a couple others going to stay. Now, Boley came out today and said that he would do what was best for him. And I'm going to be honest with you, Brett. I love Cutter Boley. He's a Kentucky kid, LCA.
He's a pocket passer,
He's
a quick pocket passer. That's what he is.
But do I foresee him being here? It's 50-50 at this point.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with that. What kind of guys do you think we will see if Will Stein is the guy, which it looks like he is? What kind of guys do you think we will see that Kentucky go after in the transfer portal?
Lots of skill. Like I said, lots of skill guys. Wide receivers. There'll be a lot of people decommit. There'll be some that Stoops had that will be in the portal. You're going to have to recruit some defensive guys, some cornerbacks.
Do you think they go after just massive size on the line, or do they go after a little slimmer guys that can just move and athletic?
I think there'll be a little bit of both, and I think you're going to see a lot of speedy wide receivers.
I think on the wide receiver, but in the SEC, John, you got to have the big uglies.
Yeah, you gotta have some physicality. I agree with you. Cutter Joshua, I ain't trying to be rude or anything, but he did not say he was coming back.
Well, he had said that before Stoops got fired, Josh.
Yeah, he had made a comment, but I don't want to take nothing out of Cutter's mouth because he.
No. That's all changed because of Stoops being gone.
Well, and he even said that he didn't even see it coming. Like, how do you not see it coming?
After that performance at Louisville, how do you not see that coming? Is what I want to know. But anyway, we'll not get into that. But
Michael Hunt brought up a good point. Speed and versatility, lots of zones and stretches. What football is getting to now. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, you're bringing that into Lexington. You're going to have a fan base that's excited, Brad. Like, I will be honest with you. I know me and you joke about it and you laugh at me with it. I believe Brad's going to call me next season when on the first play of the game when we score, he's going to say, we scored a freaking touchdown through the air without even running the ball.
I want some more offense for a decade, okay? Like for a decade, all right? It's been a long time. He started out with some air raid guys for a few years, Neil Brown, Shannon Dawson. He started out with some air raid guys the first 3 or 4 years, and he got away from that. And for a decade, I've been screaming, I want more offense. I'm very happy that we're going with an offensive guy. I know there's Kentucky fans out there that was all they were so focused. John Summerall. That's all they could think about and say. I think they had been brainwashed or something, to be honest with you. But I'm going to be honest with you, John. For me, I want an offensive guy. I want somebody who knows what they're doing, that can do all the things that you were just talking about and that Michael brought up, and spread the field out, play fast, put other teams on their heels. Stop letting them set up for as long as 40 seconds every time, run their guys in and out, make changes. Stop doing that. Let's play some speed, put them on their heels, football and offense, and let's finally try to get in the new millennium with football.
I got a question here, Brad, before we kind of move on. Does some of the staff stay? Because there's a lot of scrambling right now. Justin Rowland made a post about it earlier, said that they're trying to kind of put things together for signing day. I think you lose half of this staff. I think Brad White goes to Florida. I think
the staff's gone.
I think you see Wolford, he's gone, offensive line coach.
I think the staff's gone. I don't think they want any of those guys back, to be honest.
I think he's going to put his whole staff together.
Oh, yeah.
I'll tell you one thing that I am positive about that possibly could happen. I would be very shocked if Austin Novosad, the quarterback, the 4-star from Oregon, if he don't end up at Kentucky when it's all said and done.
That's a good prediction right there. All right, John.
And he is a slinger. Now,
I got one more question for you, and we're going to move on to football.
To be fair, he was in front of Dante Moore, which is kind of tough. But anyways,
yeah, absolutely, 100%, and he would be a great one. That's a good little tidbit here from us. So I appreciate that. But if it is Will Stein, all right,
Brad might have a panic attack, Michael. He said if Dante Moore was to follow.
Oh man, you have no idea.
Brad you might have to get Brad off the ceiling.
Y'all have no idea. I have been screaming for offense for a decade. I'm not playing.
Yeah, he's probably won the NFL though.
Probably 2026. All right. The schedule, John, is not great. I mean, it's a very, very tough schedule next year. First year head coach. If we do hire Stein, he will be a first-year head coach ever. Okay?
I'll pull it up for you.
What is your expectations? What would be a season where you feel good moving forward for next year with a brand new head coach?
5 wins.
What's that?
5 wins.
With that schedule?
Maybe knock off an Oklahoma, maybe a Louisville. Florida's probably going to be down next year. Now it depends on what they do in recruiting. Vanderbilt might be down. Me and you talked about that. Quarterback Pavia.
Come on, Dante.
Yeah. But here's the schedule for those wanting to know. It's Youngstown State, South Alabama, Louisville, Alabama, Florida. We play Lane Kiffin in Kroger Field next year, LSU, which will be interesting. Vanderbilt, at Missouri, at Oklahoma, at South Carolina, at Tennessee. And, man, we go to A&M next year for the first time in, 2 or 3 years? 4 years?
A&M has never, by the way, been to Kroger Field. And while we're going back there, that one kind of pisses me off, SEC.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah.
They've been in the league since 2012. Next year will be 15 years, and we're going back to A&M.
There was a time where A&M didn't even – was it last year that they finally went to Tennessee?
It's ridiculous. They've never been to Kroger Field. Hello, SEC. Hi. I mean, come on.
Brad's on the road this week, man.
I mean, for real, dude.
I actually can't wait for your coaching carousel update from the Big Fuss Show. That's going to be what's going to be fun to listen to.
Don't get me started on the whole thing. What's going on? Don't get me started. All right, John. We are going to mix it up, guys. I do cover other sports here. By the way, John, it is December. I know everybody's going to be talking about other sports, but the NCAA tournament is fixing to start for women's volleyball. Yep. And I do want to bring up and have a little bit of discussion here about women's volleyball. Kentucky is got a heck of a season going on, and we're going to get to just a little bit here talking about women's volleyball. So hang on just a minute as I get to my topics here for this. All right. So since we've been here last Monday, on Tuesday, John, Kentucky had an absolute incredible comeback win versus the number 3 team in the country, Texas. And I just had to bring that up at least one time to win the SEC tournament. They reverse swept them, and in the third set, they were down. They had 2 match championship points. Texas did to win the SEC, and they not only defended that, they come back and won 2 more sets and beat them.
Unbelievable, Brad. And
it was incredible.
They're entering the NCAA tournament as a 1 seed 2, the second overall. They will play Wofford Thursday at historic Memorial Coliseum. Now, they win. They play the winner of Georgia Tech and UCLA on Friday.
That is part of the path. I did want to bring that up. By the way, go to historic Memorial Coliseum. The games are they got the home path the entire way. Like John said, they start off with Wofford. They will play the winner because they're going to win that game. Let's be honest. Okay. If they can't win that game, why? But the next game, they will play Georgia Tech or UCLA. UCLA is not a bad club either, by the way.
They're pretty good. Yeah, they're
a good club. UCLA is for volleyball, but they are, John, the number 2 on Selection Sunday yesterday. Yeah, trying to think when Sunday was. On Selection Sunday last night, they were the number 2 overall seed in the tournament. This team has a legit shot at a national championship.
They do. You know, they go into the tournament 18-match win streak, undefeated SEC player. They won their conference tournament. Kentucky's only lost 2 games this year, Brad. One to undefeated Nebraska and one to Pitt. Kentucky has made the NCAA tournament since 2005 when head coach Craig Skinner took over. They won their first national title in 2020 and haven't went past the regionals since. This is a chance for the girls to really do some damage. This is one of their best regular seasons in program history. And I think they're a formidable team. The only thing getting in their way, I think, is really there's a couple of teams, maybe 3. Texas is one, is going to be tough. Nebraska is going to be a gauntlet to get by.
They did put Texas and Kentucky on the same side in the Final Four, so they would have to match up again for a third time in the semifinal game. That's going to be a tough matchup because beating a good team 3 times is going to be extremely tough.
We found out that last year in basketball with Tennessee, Kentucky, and the men's.
Yeah,
it's tough to beat a team 3 times in a year,
especially when they're a good team.
Well, and then you got Pitt. Pitt is a really good team. There's a lot of good teams in this tournament.
You got Pitt on one side, and you got Nebraska. Nebraska's still undefeated. They're probably the favorite here. Let's be honest.
What's to me is Nebraska only beat Kentucky 3-2.
They did. Kentucky had them down 2-0, and they reverse swept Kentucky. But it was early. That was early, like the third game of the season or something.
Yep.
So you have no idea. I so want the rematch with Nebraska in the championship game. If we can get that, if we can just skate through and get to the championship game with the rematch, man, I'm going to be on pins and needles. I'm going to love it. You have no idea.
By the way, Louisville made it as well. They earned the 2 seed.
Western Kentucky made it as a 7 seed.
But Louisville, guess what? You got Nebraska in your region. So
good luck. Yeah. Congratulations. You get Nebraska.
Good luck.
Oh, me. I'm sorry. I had to say that. Congratulations, Louisville. You get Nebraska.
if they get past the first round in the regionals. So
all right, one more quick thing on the volleyball here before we move on to some basketball stuff. I do want to tell you guys, for real, go check out the tickets. Get your tickets to go to Memorial Coliseum. They are scheduled. They get the entire region, the whole region. So if they move on, they will play, the Sweet 16 and what would in basketball we call the Elite 8. When it gets down to the 8, we will play both of those games will be at historic Memorial Coliseum. So go out and support these ladies, man. They are working so hard. I swear, if you did not watch this Texas game, for them to work that hard to come back when they were down and out and look like defeated was spectacular. This team has it all, and they could absolutely win a national championship. They have a tough path, but they could do it. All right, John. I do want to get to some basketball. We are going to get to the men's first. And the first thing I want to talk about, John, is I want to talk about the win over Tennessee Tech and talk a little bit about Pelfrey and the Unforgettables being there. So just quickly, what was your impression of the first time the Unforgettables have been in the house together in Rupp in 33 years
It was
since 1992?
it was absolutely special, Brad, to see, John Pelfrey, Darren Feldhouse, trying to think, Sean Woods, and the other one, Richie Farmer. It's just, man, getting them all together, it was just special. That's really all you can say about it. I guess it was. It was just to know that, John Pelfrey's wife.
For me, John, I'm going to be honest with you. I grew up in that time. I was in high school. I graduated in 93. In 92, I was a junior in high school. I was a seventh grader, eighth grader when all the players left, and we were left with about 6 Kentucky kids and an Indiana guy. And that's about all we had. Everybody else, they gave them at that time. There was no free transfer, but they gave Kentucky players a free transfer. That's how much they hated Kentucky with what was going on.
They brought up
for 2 years. I don't think people remember this, but for 2 years, Kentucky wasn't even on TV. They banned Kentucky from TV.
He's on probation.
Yeah, but they're the only school that's ever happened to that I ever know of.
And you know what's crazy is it all started with Eddie Sutton, the end of Eddie Sutton.
Yeah. But these kids, these young men, man, gave their heart and soul to bring Kentucky out of the pits of hell, to be quite honest with you. I mean, that's where they were, to be honest.
There was a point there, you had Ellis. I think he left and went to was it Arizona?
No, he went to Syracuse.
That was Chris Mills.
That's Chris Mills that went to Arizona.
Sean Kemp never even played a game.
Left. Sean Sutton went to Oklahoma State. They just all went, and they gave them all a free pass. That's never in that time. That never happened. And they banned us from TV. You couldn't even watch the games for 2 years at all. They were not televised.
What year was that? Was it 89 or was
it? It was the 89, 90, and 90, 91 seasons that we were banned from TV.
89 year, they had the Eddie Sutton scandal. They banned the program from television, like you said.
That was 88, 89 when it all went down.
Was significant. They lost by a large margin to Kansas. Wasn't that Kansas that was?
Yeah, like 150 to 84 or some shit.
Yeah, it was bad. The 89 team, you had, trying to remember, you had Derek Miller, Sean Woods, Darren Feldhouse. I think you had Brasso on that team, Henry Thomas, Richie Farmer. We had
Jonathan Davis,
Reggie Hansen.
I
think it was then they had another one. I can't remember.
Jonathan Davis has been on our show, by the way. Give him a shout out for being on our show.
Junior Brady was on that team.
Yeah.
There was just not a lot to be happy about.
And everybody thought Kentucky was dead. Dead. D-E-A-D. I mean dead.
You know what's crazy? Was that not the season in 90? When they beat Shaquille O'Neal in the LSU
14 and 14, Rupp was Kentucky fans today don't know when they banned Kentucky from being on TV. Rupp was crazy. I mean, it's nothing like you see today. It was wild inside of Rupp. I was there one of the nights. I don't remember if it was 90 or 91. I was there the night we beat LSU, and Reggie Hansen out jumped Shaquille O'Neal for the tip, and we beat them in overtime. They had Chris Jackson and Shaquille O'Neal. And we had no business.
Stanley Roberts was on there too.
We had no business beating that team, man. No business beating them.
No.
And Rupp Arena was wild. I'm telling you guys, y'all never lived what I seen. I'm telling you.
Well,
when
I was a kid, you're a little bit older than me, but mine was Jamal Mashburn. His first year, I got to go to a couple of games as a kid and got to see that 93 team, the 92 team. It might have been the 92 team. And the next year they went to the Final Four and lost to Michigan.
Yeah,
I still say to this day, Brad, if Mashburn don't foul out, Kentucky wins that basketball game.
Oh, they win the national title if he doesn't foul out that game.
He fouled out, and Weber and Jalen Rose and Juwan Howard and Ray Jackson, that whole team just took over in the overtime. Yeah, and it was lights out. But back to your point, it was great to see him there, seeing Pelfrey. You know, a lot of people don't know John Pelfrey's wife is facing cancer.
Yeah.
She's going through some cancer treatment. She postponed all of that just so she could be with John Pelfrey at the Kentucky game. That says a lot about their fortitude, their drive, her willingness to support John. And we support John. He's a Kentucky guy. You know, he's blue and white.
He's also from Kentucky. He's from Paintsville.
Played at Paintsville High School.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. I want to move on. We're going to get to the ACC challenges this week. Kentucky plays tomorrow night. They get an actual home game, John, against North Carolina in Rupp tomorrow night. In Rupp, I think it's 8:30 Central, 9:30 Eastern. It's a late game tomorrow night. North Carolina has started out a little bit slow. What do you expect to see tomorrow night in Rupp Arena?
They struggled during Thanksgiving. You know, they won their first 6 games. They lost to Michigan State, which Michigan State's playing as good as anybody right now. Now they come up to Kentucky, their second after losing their second game. They got Michigan State and Kentucky back-to-back. There's a lot of respect in this series, Brad. Make no mistake. These teams hate each other. It's a neutral site matchup.
When I was growing up, that's the one team as a kid that I hated just about more than anybody.
Here's the thing. Kentucky's perimeter shooting has not been great. And I'm going to go yeah. And on the other side, North Carolina hasn't been either. You know, you got the Caleb Wilson, Henry Visar. Hubert Davis has done a marvelous job trying to get that shooting back. North Carolina went ice cold against Michigan State. Jaron Stevenson did not play good.
I got a question for you about this game specifically, okay? Caleb Wilson's been pretty spectacular so far.
He has.
Do you let him get his and shut down the other 4, or do you try to put your best defensive player, big on him and try to shut down Caleb Wilson?
Well, I think that's what you have to do. But, Michigan State had a good game plan. They adjusted their defense. They double-teamed him, forcing him to take tough shots. Now, the Wildcats are a different kind of team, so I think you're going to see a different game plan. I do think that you're going to see the ball in Wilson's hands a lot more. This game is huge, Brad. And I don't mean that like you got.
I think Gonzaga. It's a must-win in Rupp. I'll be honest with you tomorrow night. I think it's a must-win in Rupp.
You got Gonzaga coming up Friday.
And that's my next topic. But tomorrow night, I believe tomorrow night is a must-win in Rupp.
I wouldn't say it's do or die, but you got to start winning some of these ranked games.
I think it's a must-win in Rupp tomorrow night. I really do.
I think I'm like Michael, I think you got to put Cam Williams on Caleb Wilson. Try to force him in his length, his size. Now, Jalen Lowe's out tomorrow, most likely. Mo Diabate is probably out. But I think that's really a good sign because it shows that Pope is trying to get them back and get them healthy.
So I want to ask you about Gonzaga because they turn around 3 days later in Nashville and playing a really good Gonzaga team. Now, before they played Michigan, Gonzaga was playing lights out.
Yeah,
So
their offense is ticking. Tyron Foster, he's playing really, really well for them. They beat Alabama, they beat Oklahoma, Creighton, Arizona.
Sorry.
Gonzaga is a spot ahead of Alabama. And Kentucky is the lone ranked team left on Gonzaga's schedule, okay? And it's set to tip at 4 o'clock in Nashville on Friday. This is a big game, must win for the Cats.
I think tomorrow night in Rupp is a must win. Must win. The Gonzaga game, I would love to win it.
If you do what you've done the last 3 or 4 games,
if you can beat North Carolina at home and then beat Indiana at home and defend your house and then go get St. John's, this Gonzaga game, I could take a loss if we have to be honest.
Did you know this is the first time since 1998 that Kentucky's played 2 ranked teams in the same calendar week?
Yeah, it's been a long time.
They had, I think it was Indiana and Maryland that year. That was Tubby Smith's second year.
That's what I'm saying, Michael, is that we have to defend the home. Like, we have 2 big games coming up with North Carolina tomorrow night and Indiana on the 13th at home, and we've got to win those games at home. And if we could go get St. John's and win those 2 at home.
I'll say this, Brad. If they lose to North Carolina and they lose to Gonzaga, it's going to be a horrible, horrible winter. That's all I can tell you.
It's going to be a long, yeah. Yeah, I might go into hibernation.
You might as well let the snow fall and get
into hibernation, John.
And get into a cubby hole and go to sleep. Because, man, you're going to have to figure – like I said, you're going to have to figure out to win these games. You're going to have to win this one. This is a big one. And then I don't know if everybody knows this, but Dick Vitale and Charles Barkley is going to be on this call.
Gonzaga?
Yeah, both. I think it's Indiana and North Carolina, I believe. It might be Gonzaga, but Charles Barkley and Dick Vitale is going to be sitting together. Can you imagine the conversations going to be ahead in there?
Golly.
Oh.
So, will we see Jayden Quaintance this week in either game? There had been some talk that North Carolina was one of the first goals that maybe he could be. I had also heard Indiana. So, I'm asking this week, do you think he's getting closer and closer? I think it won't be long. Do you think in a big week where we're playing 2 ranked teams, do you think we get he checks in and plays even 10 minutes a game? Because I think that's what they're going to do. They're not going to just put him out there and throw him 25, 30 minutes a game right away.
I think it's going to be a slow.
It's going to be like 8 or 10 minutes a game the first couple of weeks.
It's not going to be anything major. It's going to be like they did with Lowe at Louisville. How they just kind of threw him in there a couple of minutes and kind of see where he was at. And, of course, he got injured in that game, which was unfortunate. So he kind of gave an update today, but he never really gave a definitive answer. But I heard somebody say that they said he had a surprise tomorrow night, Mark Pope. So maybe he plays. Maybe he plays against Gonzaga. I don't know, Brad. But
I had heard for the last month that they were shooting for December 2nd, North Carolina. Now, I also had heard that it could be December 13th against Indiana, depending on how things were going. So somewhere in the next 2 weeks, the plans had been that we would start to see Jayden Quaintance. Now, like I said, I do not think these fans, I want you to know, I do not think that we will see them throw Jayden Quaintance to the Wolves and him play 25, 30 minutes a game to start with. We will see him for 8 to 12 minutes.
I say that because Pope don't operate like that.
Yeah.
Now, Michael, there had been some talk, but it's kind of
quieting down, which is a little weird to me. I think maybe there's some reasons for that.
I'm going to say this real quick while we're on this subject real quick. I think Jalen Lowe will be back this year. I just think it'll probably be SEC play.
On it. I just don't know that Jayden Lowe's shoulder will stay healthy this year.
No,
will we see him? I think we'll see him a game or two, but is he going to take another bump and it pop right back out? He does have to have surgery.
Well, and I think it's going to be another Lamont Butler type thing.
Yep.
He's just going to have to, take the bumps and just kind of.
We will see him again, but if it pops out again, we will not see him again. He'll be done for the year.
He'll be done. Yep.
Because he does have to have surgery.
I don't think he wanted to spend a lot of time on the women. I know they lost to Maryland, and
so I am going to get to the women here real quick. So the women played in Puerto Rico over the holiday. They did go 1-1. They lost to Maryland. John, against Maryland, I don't think the women, they never really got over the hump. They got behind early. They never could really get back into the game. And then they come back and win against a bad team. I'm going to be honest with you, Morgan State. But they completely blew them out, scored over 100 points, and went 1-1 at Puerto Rico.
Well, you look at the Maryland game. Kayleen Schmickel, Gardner Zone, they had a combined 39 points. Maryland has 5 seniors and 7 players who have Sweet 16 experience. It helped against a Kentucky upper class type lineup. And this Maryland team is going to get even better.
Keone Key against Maryland fouled out, only played 14 minutes. Strack only had 9 points, and it wasn't really her fault. She only took 9 shots. They wasn't really going to her all that much.
For me, I felt like Maryland played their best 40 minutes I've seen from the opening. I think
Kentucky's got to learn something from that game. I think they have to go and play through Strack a little bit more.
Yeah, that wasn't so much what hurt them. What hurt them was the defensive side. They forced 4 turnovers. Kentucky gave the ball away 14 times.
Kentucky had 20 turnovers in the first 25 minutes. That's what hurt.
You're not going to win many games doing that. I'm sorry. That's just.
But they also have to run the ball through Strack a little more. You cannot let her, in a game of that magnitude, a top 10 team, you cannot let her only have 9 points and not even have 10 shots. You can't do that.
And then they played Morgan State, which there's not really much to talk about.
Well, I do want to talk about one thing in the Morgan State game, John. The bench played really, really well in that game. KK Carroll, I want to give you a shout out. Asia Boone, I want to give you a shout out. Asia Boone led Kentucky with 21 points. KK Carroll had 15. They both hit 5 3-pointers off the bench. And the bench scored 44 points, and the Cats went over 100 for the second time this season, and the first time that the Kentucky women's team has done that since 2017, I believe, with 2 games or more over 100. So I want to give a shout out to KK. KK is a McDonald's All-American freshman. She is just coming along. She had a great game. She hit 5 3-pointers. She was either 5 or 9 or 5 or 10 from the 3-point line that night. And Asia Boone also had an excellent game off the bench with 21 and led Kentucky that night. So Lexi Blue had 6. Josie Gilvin got 2 points off the bench. There was 44 points off the bench.
And now you get a chance to play Miami in the ACC Challenge, which is going to be fun to watch.
That's my next one. Again, Kentucky women is on the road. Again, SEC. Hello. Maybe you ought to put the Kentucky women at home at Memorial Coliseum one time. Just try it out for fun, honestly. I mean, I don't get it. Some of these things, SEC, like really? I mean, I just don't get it. Maybe, I don't know. The other teams get home games. I'm not sure why you don't give Kentucky a home game. I'm just not sure. But anyways, they're playing Miami. Their game is Wednesday night on the 3rd. They'll be in South Beach, John. And Miami had started this season pretty well as well.
Yeah, they're playing good. They got some fast, little, aggressive point guards. They got a good team.
They were 5-1. They were 5-1. I'm not sure exactly the past 3 or 4 days if they played again or not. But they had started out pretty well. And this is kind of down the totem pole of where the preseason rankings were for the ACC and SEC. This is kind of an even matchup where they predicted both of these teams to be. So it's going to be interesting to see how Kentucky bounces back and Kenny Brooks gets this team going on Wednesday night in Miami on the road. By the way, Kentucky is 3-0 on the road this season. And then Sunday, they play Central Michigan at home back at historic Memorial Coliseum. They have not played at home in like 2.5 weeks, or by Sunday, it'll be 2.5 weeks. They've not played at home. So go out and support the women. They get a home game on Sunday afternoon, Central Michigan, and I will be there for that game. It'll be great to be back and cover. The girls have not had a home game in forever. It seems like
about time you go and cover something.
I mean, it's great. They haven't had a home game in forever.
I've been doing all the running.
Yeah, and so I'll be back covering on Sunday for the women, and I might even sneak a volleyball coverage in here in the next couple of weeks. I'm not real sure yet.
I will say real quick, Mark Pope gave an injury update today, according to Jeff Drummond. There is an update, but we're not going to tell you until the game. Those guys are coming along doing the best they can, but I'm not sure they'll be ready to go against North Carolina. That's all he said. The first part kind of to the game tomorrow. Do you think that has to do with JQ?
I kind of do. I'm telling you, I had heard rumors for 3 or 4 weeks that they were shooting for the North Carolina game. Now, the backup to that was the Indiana game, depending on how he was coming along. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you guys that I know for sure he's coming out, to play tomorrow. But I do know that he's getting close and that they had been planning on sometime in the next 2 weeks him making his return.
And I do want to say that the last 24 hours have been absolutely bonkers. And I'm not an insider by no means. Me and Brad that's beyond me and Brad's pay grade when it comes to insider news. But just keeping up with the
Kenny Brooks has been great.
Yeah. and it's been good. You know, I've tried to keep up with everything. Brad's been trying to decorate for Christmas, and I've been trying to work a little bit,
Been a
trying to
busy
find.
weekend. I done Black Friday shopping. I done Thanksgiving on Thursday. I done decorating on Saturday, and then yesterday I also I went to a storage unit that I have and dug out some decorations and done some things yesterday.
I'll just say the last 24 hours have been absolutely bonkers. From Stoops getting fired to this, we had planes that were being tracked. We had rooms that people was going in and out of. Like, it was absolutely bonkers.
All right, John, I'm going to end the show with this, okay?
Okay.
This is my last topic of the night. I'm going to end the show with this. I want you to take a quick look back at the Mark Stoops tenure, and I want you to tell me, how should he be remembered?
That's a good one. He should be remembered for the things that he did when he got there. You know, the first season that he was there in 13, the cupboard was really, really bare. I was actually at the Western Kentucky game in Nashville when his first game of the year. We lost to Bobby Petrino in Western Kentucky that season.
Yeah.
And even then I seen improvement, but I knew that year we was not going to be really, really good. There was just too many missing pieces. Now,
it took him a few years, but John, he had the best run that Kentucky football has had over an 8-year period since a guy by the name of Paul Bear Bryant.
Yeah, he changed the culture here. It's unfortunate because, you know, with this is a business. There was a lot of low expectations. You know, Kentucky's not a high expectation job. It's basically a job that you win 6 or 7 games, you're pretty much a shoo-in. Everybody's happy. Stoops is responsible, really, Brad, for the most successful time that they've ever experienced.
They have since Paul Bear Bryant.
You know, the
absolutely. But my question really is this. So 5 years from now,
seasons.
5 years from now, John, they bring Stoops back. Will fans cheer him and remember him for the good that he did, or are fans going to remember the last 2 or 3 years?
No. The way he handled things, Brad, at the end, I think changes everything. If I was a fan and he got to come back and sign autographs and all that, like for the fans, not me in general, but as a fan, I would go to him and I would hug him and shake his hand for what he gave this program. Because
he's done a lot.
He put a lot of sacrifice. He's put a lot of sacrifice in. There was a emotional post today. Somebody, Kenneth Horsey, had mentioned about his heart surgery and Stoops being there. Some of the pictures that they was hugging each other back in the early 2000, like 2012, 14, of players that was just huddled around Stoops. In that moment, Stoops was cherished. He's still cherished, but those players hold a memory of that, and that leaves.
Do y'all remember JoJo Kemp going wild at Florida?
I do.
I mean, I don't know if you guys remember that or not, but I do.
South Carolina was another game he went wild in. He went wild in both of them. So
yeah,
but yeah, I think he's done a daggone good job, Brad. It's unfortunate that
y'all remember Boom Williams breaking one open at the Swamp?
Yep.
Because I do.
Yeah. He reversed the deal.
Those were things that we never seen before Stoops got here.
Mm-mm. And then the recruiting kind of got better. You had the Josh Allens, you had Lynn Bowden, you had Wandale Robinson, you had Will Levis, so many greats, Benny Snell. You had so many great moments with these Garrett Juice Johnson, Jeff Badette. There's so many guys you can name off this.
Josh Allen, Will Levis, Wandale Robinson. Do y'all remember the catch he made in that drive where he got his bell rang and still brought it home?
You talking about the Iowa game?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a fun time, Brad.
I mean, I think a lot of fans have forgotten a lot of great moments.
There's been a lot. There has been a lot.
I mean, I just want to remind people, Stoops, for me, man, I appreciate you so much. Like you turned Kentucky into a program that had some expectations, because before there was none.
No, it was very low. That's what I mean. It was low coming into it.
So
and I want to say this while we're kind of on this. You know, me and you did not get to cover him, as you know, it was very short.
I did get to meet him and covered him a little bit this year.
I got to meet him, and the times I got to meet him in those situations, he was really, really nice to me. He treated me really nice. I'm
grateful to the University of Kentucky too for allowing us and everything, but that's not. I mean, my point is that there's a lot of great moments that should be remembered.
They should be. I agree with you.
And I just want to end it at that and end the show with that tonight. We kind of run this a little bit longer than I normally do for the Wildcat Weekly shows, but we had quite a bit to talk about, quite a bit to get to. If you missed the Will Stein stuff, that was towards the beginning of the show. Go back and watch. I will post some shorts and a few things probably tomorrow.
I'm not even sure. I'm not even sure what we're going to, if we're I mean, I don't want to let people I don't know if we're having a show tomorrow. Kentucky plays tomorrow.
They do. Kentucky plays tomorrow night. It's a late night. My son's coming over to watch the game with me. So, I mean, if we do a show, it's going to have to be early tomorrow. If not, we might do one Wednesday, maybe.
Yeah, because we really need to do one this week. I was telling somebody today, because the championship games this week.
I don't want to do one early because I want to wait for the college football playoff rankings to come out, because I'll be honest with you, John, I have a lot to talk about with the way things have been going on. I hate this calendar, freaking hate it with a passion, and I don't even know why. I'm going to say this before we get off the air, and I'm going to tease. Why the hell do we even have a playoff? We have a playoff so we can just gut all these teams before the playoff happens? How stupid are the people who run college football?
And I'm going to tease this one. We might get an 8-5 Duke in the playoff. Don't say nothing.
Don't get me started, John. I'm telling y'all might want to tune in, because I'm going to be livid over some of this shit. The people who run college football are asinine, and I mean it. For real. Like, it's why do we even have a playoff? Why don't we just end the season Saturday? We might as well. We're gutting all the teams and coaches and doing all this, opening up transfer portals, and people are leaving, and coordinators are leaving playoff teams, and freaking coaches are just up and leaving damn playoff teams, and it's ridiculous. Imagine an NBA, imagine an NFL or NBA season, and right before the damn playoffs, all the coaches just leave and everything else.
You know,
what the hell's going on around here?
Another good thing was what Rick Pitino said about the Lane Kiffin situation. He said if That'd be like me leaving in March with a number 1 seed.
Yeah, just
And
open
leaving
league.
out.
You got a number 1 seed in the playoffs and March Madness, and just let's gut the team and open the portal and like, what in the hell are these people doing that's running college football?
Michael brought up a good point real quick. They should not accommodate a weak conference champ because they want it for 2 or 3 lost better teams. I'm gonna go as far as saying this. I'm gonna tease this. We got to go, Brad, before you get on one of your wild shenanigans.
Why even have a playoff if you're going to blow up the teams?
If you're going to put Duke in at 8-5, why don't you just put Texas in?
I mean, hell, let's put in a 6-6 team. Why don't we?
I'm gonna have to reel him in, everybody. He's ready.
Why don't we just put in a 6-6 team? I mean, why not?
Yeah, I agree with you.
Lord have mercy. Why not? Let's go out and spend an entire year, an entire season, and let's take the number 5 or number 6 team in the damn country and let's decimate them right before the playoffs.
Yep. Ole Miss.
Let's just decimate the whole program right before the playoffs.
I got something to say about that when we do that on Wednesday about the Ole Miss situation. That Ole Miss situation is about as toxic as it gets right now.
How in the hell? Listen, I don't blame the coach, really. I blame the system and the people that allow this shit. Again, hello, College Football Playoff Committee, SEC, ACC, Big 12. I mean, I don't know. Maybe y'all should wake up and smell the damn coffee. I don't know. Something. I'm not sure. Just saying. There's your big tease right there. Y'all might want to tune in because I'm going to go nuclear. I promise.
I tell you what I might do. I might just stay off.
I'm going to go nuclear.
I don't want to be associated with this. I'm just kidding.
I'm serious. It's a heart attack. These people are insane and insanely stupid for allowing this.
Yeah, I agree with you.
All right, guys. I'm wrapping this up. This has been Wildcat Weekly. John got me off on some rants, but this has been Wildcat Weekly. We've got a lot to cover. Enjoy some basketball. There's some going to be some volleyball games this week as well that you should go to it at Historic Memorial Coliseum. I think they're the 4th and the 6th, I believe, the volleyball games, if I'm not mistaken.
It's Thursday. Yep.
Yeah. So check them out. Y'all have a good week. We will see you Wednesday probably for a nuclear Big Fuss show.
Have a good one.
Y'all have a good night.